Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
The story of Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam in the Quran, a journey from prison to power. The Quran presents the story of Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam in Surah Yusuf in great detail. It is a story full of lessons, patience, struggle, and divine wisdom. Allah Himself introduces this story by saying, "Greater than, we relate to you, O Muhammad, the best of stories in what we have revealed to you of this Quran, although you were, before it, among the unaware." Surah Yusuf 3. This declaration shows us that the story of Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam is not just a historical narrative, it is the best of stories because it carries deep spiritual guidance and timeless lessons for humanity. Yusuf's dream, a glimpse of destiny. The story begins with a dream. Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam, while still a young boy, comes to his beloved father, Prophet Yaqub alayhi salam, and tells him, "Greater than, O my father, indeed I have seen, in a dream, 11 stars and the sun and the moon, I saw them prostrating to me." Surah Yusuf 4. This dream was not an ordinary vision. It was a sign of the extraordinary destiny that awaited Yusuf alayhi salam. Prophet Yaqub alayhi salam, a wise and loving father, understood its meaning immediately. He advised his son not to share this dream with his brothers, warning him gently, "Greater than, O my son, do not relate your vision to your brothers or they will contrive against you a plan. Indeed Satan, to man, is a manifest enemy." Surah Yusuf 5. This highlights two important lessons. 1. Wisdom in silence. Not every blessing should be announced publicly. Some things are best kept between you and Allah until the right time. 2. The reality of jealousy, envy can push even close family members toward harmful actions. Fire the jealousy of Yusuf's brothers. Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam was blessed with beauty, purity, and innocence. His father loved him dearly, and this special bond became the cause of envy among his brothers. They said, "Greater than, certainly our father loves Yusuf and his brother more than us, while we are a strong group. Indeed, our father is in clear error." Surah Yusuf 8. Here, jealousy blinded them from recognizing their father's wisdom and fairness. Their envy was so deep that they began plotting against their own brother. One of them suggested the unthinkable. "Greater than, kill Yusuf or cast him out to some land, the favor of your father will then be only for you." Surah Yusuf 9. Finally, they decided on a less extreme plan, to throw him into a well where travelers might find him. This would remove Yusuf alayhi salam from their lives without them directly killing him. Betrayal and separation. The brothers came to their father with a false request. They asked Yaqub alayhi salam to let Yusuf alayhi salam come along with them to play. Although Prophet Yaqub alayhi salam felt uneasy, fearing that a wolf might harm his son, the brothers reassured him with false promises. But once they had Yusuf alayhi salam alone, they carried out their cruel plan. They stripped him of his shirt and threw him into the depths of a dark well. Imagine the young Yusuf alayhi salam alone, afraid, and abandoned by his own brothers. Yet, in that very moment of despair, Allah's comfort descended upon him. The Quran says, "Greater than, and we inspired to him, you will surely inform them someday about this affair of theirs while they do not perceive your identity." Surah Yusuf 15. This was a divine promise. Although Yusuf alayhi salam was betrayed, his destiny was far greater than the cruelty of his brothers. Meanwhile, the brothers returned home with a fabricated story. They smeared Yusuf's shirt with false blood and told their father, "Greater than, O our father, indeed we went racing each other and left Yusuf with our possessions, and a wolf ate him." Surah Yusuf 17. But Prophet Yaqub alayhi salam, with the insight of a prophet and the wisdom of a father, recognized their lies. His heart broke with grief, yet his faith in Allah remained unshaken. He said, "Greater than, rather, your souls have enticed you to something, so patience is most fitting. And Allah is the one sought for help against that which you describe." Surah Yusuf 18. Yusuf's journey to Egypt. Not long after, a caravan of travelers came upon the well. They lowered their bucket and were astonished to find a young boy clinging to life. Seeing Yusuf alayhi salam as nothing more than a valuable slave, they pulled him out and carried him to Egypt. The Quran describes this moment with painful simplicity. Greater than, and they sold him for a reduced price, a few dirhams, and they were, concerning him, of those content with little. Surah Yusuf 20. Imagine, this boy who was destined for greatness was sold cheaply as if he were worthless. Yet, this was part of Allah's plan. In Egypt, Yusuf alayhi salam was purchased by a high-ranking official, known in the Quran as Al-Aziz. This man told his wife, greater than, make his stay comfortable. Perhaps he will benefit us, or we will adopt him as a son. Surah Yusuf 21. Here begins Yusuf's new chapter, taken from the well of despair into the palace of Egypt. But his trials were not yet over. 1. Dreams as signs. Sometimes Allah gives us glimpses of our future. But we must protect these signs and trust Allah's timing. 2. Jealousy destroys. The envy of Yusuf's brothers blinded them, leading them to cruelty. Jealousy is a poison that eats away faith. 3. Divine comfort in hardship. Even when Yusuf alayhi salam was alone in the well, Allah reminded him of a brighter destiny. 4. Faith of Yaqub alayhi salam. Despite immense grief, he turned to patience, sabr jameel, and placed his trust in Allah. 5. Allah's plan is greater. Yusuf alayhi salam was sold cheaply as a slave, but this was only the beginning of his rise to honor. Yusuf alayhi salam in the palace of Egypt. After being sold as a slave, Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam found himself in the household of Al-Aziz, one of the noblemen of Egypt. Though Yusuf a.s. entered as a servant, Allah's plan was shaping his destiny. The Quran says, greater than, and thus we established Yusuf in the land, that we might teach him the interpretation of events. And Allah has full power over his affair, but most of mankind do not know. Surah Yusuf 21. This verse is profound. It reminds us that no matter how dark life looks, Allah is silently preparing the believer for something greater. In the palace, Yusuf alayhi salam grew in beauty, wisdom, and character. His noble qualities caught the attention of everyone. But this blessing also became a trial. The test of temptation. The wife of Al-Aziz, known in Islamic history as Zuleika, was captivated by Yusuf's beauty. One day, when the house was empty, she tried to seduce him. The Quran captures this dramatic moment. Greater than, and she, in whose house he was, sought to seduce him. She closed the doors and said, come to me. He said, I seek refuge in Allah. Indeed, He is my master, who has made my stay good. Indeed, wrongdoers will not succeed. Surah Yusuf 23. Despite the intense temptation, Yusuf alayhi salam remained firm. This moment teaches us one of the greatest lessons. True faith is tested when sin is easy and hidden. As Yusuf alayhi salam tried to flee, she tore his shirt from behind. At that moment, her husband appeared. To defend herself, she accused Yusuf alayhi salam of wrongdoing. But Allah made the truth clear. A witness from her family testified. Greater than, if his shirt is torn from the front, then she has told the truth. But if his shirt is torn from the back, then she has lied, and he is truthful. Surah Yusuf 26-27. When the shirt was found torn from the back, Yusuf alayhi salam was proven innocent. Woman, woman, girl, the women of Egypt. But the story did not end here. Rumors spread in the city about the wife of Al-Aziz and her desire for Yusuf alayhi salam. In response, she invited the noblewomen of Egypt to her home, gave them fruit and knives, and then called Yusuf alayhi salam into the room. The Quran says, greater than, when they saw him, they greatly admired him and cut their hands, and said, perfect is Allah. This is not a man, this is none other than a noble angel. Surah Yusuf 31. The women were so struck by Yusuf's beauty that they accidentally cut their hands without realizing it. This event shows how extraordinary Yusuf alayhi salam was. Zuleika then declared boldly, greater than, this is the one for whom you blamed me. And I did seek to seduce him, but he firmly refused. And if he will not do what I order him, he will surely be imprisoned and will be of those debased. Surah Yusuf 32. Chains. Yusuf chooses prison over sin. At this moment, Yusuf alayhi salam prayed sincerely to Allah. Greater than, my Lord, prison is more beloved to me than that to which they invite me. And if you do not avert from me their plan, I might incline toward them and thus be of the ignorant. Surah Yusuf 3:3. What an incredible prayer. Yusuf alayhi salam preferred the hardship of prison over disobeying Allah. So, despite being innocent, he was thrown into prison. This shows that even prophets are tested with injustice, but their faith remains unshaken. Lessons from Yusuf's temptation and prison. 1. Taqwa. God consciousness. Yusuf a.s. chose Allah's pleasure over desire, even at great personal cost. 2. Truth always wins. Despite accusations, Allah revealed the truth through signs. 3. Patience in injustice. Yusuf alayhi salam was punished despite innocence, teaching us to trust Allah's timing. 4. Prison over sin. A believer must prefer temporary suffering over disobedience to Allah. Yusuf in prison, spreading the message. Even in prison, Yusuf alayhi salam did not waste time in despair. Instead, he used his situation to call others to Allah. 2 young men entered prison with him. They saw his piety and asked him to interpret their dreams. Before answering, Yusuf alayhi salam used the opportunity to teach them about Tawheed, the oneness of Allah. Greater than, O my 2 companions of prison, are many lords better or Allah, the One, the Supreme. Surah Yusuf 39. Here we see Yusuf alayhi salam as a da'a caller to Islam. He reminded them that life's trials are temporary, but worship belongs only to Allah. Then, with Allah's guidance, he interpreted their dreams. One of them would be released and serve the king, while the other would be executed. Events unfolded exactly as Yusuf alayhi salam predicted. Before the released man left prison, Yusuf alayhi salam asked him, greater than, mention me before your master, the king. Surah Yusuf 42. But the man forgot, and Yusuf alayhi salam remained in prison for several more years. This delay teaches us, sometimes even when relief seems near, Allah postpones it for a greater wisdom. Lessons from Yusuf in prison. 1. Make dua everywhere. Even in hardship, Yusuf alayhi salam shared the message of Islam. 2. Faith over despair. Yusuf alayhi salam did not lose hope despite years in prison. 3. Dream interpretation as a gift. Allah blessed Yusuf alayhi salam with unique knowledge, but he always gave credit to Allah. 4. Delays are part of Allah's plan. Sometimes relief is postponed for greater good. Yusuf alayhi salam interprets the king's dream. Years passed in prison, until one night, the king of Egypt saw a strange and troubling dream. Greater than, indeed, I saw in a dream 7 fat cows being eaten by 7 lean cows, and 7 green ears of grain and 7 dry ones. Surah Yusuf 43. No one in his court could explain the dream. That's when the former prisoner, who had once met Yusuf alayhi salam, remembered him and told the king about Yusuf's gift. Yusuf alayhi salam, still in prison, interpreted the dream with Allah's guidance. Greater than, you will sow for 7 consecutive years, and what you harvest leave in its spikes, except a little from which you eat. Then will come after that 7 hard years which will consume what you saved for them, except a little which you will store. Then will come after that a year in which the people will be given rain and in which they will press olives and grapes. Surah Yusuf 47-49. This was not just an interpretation, it was a divine plan for Egypt's survival. Receipt. Yusuf alayhi salam declares his innocence. The king was amazed and called Yusuf alayhi salam to be released. But Yusuf alayhi salam refused to leave prison until the truth about the accusation against him was cleared. He said, greater than, go back to your master and ask him, what about the women who cut their hands? Indeed, my Lord is knowing of their plot. Surah Yusuf 50. The king investigated, and the women, including the wife of Al-Aziz, admitted Yusuf's innocence. Zuleika herself confessed. Greater than, Now the truth has become evident. It was I who sought to seduce him, and indeed, he is of the truthful. Surah Yusuf 51. Only then did Yusuf alayhi salam leave prison, with honor and dignity. Yusuf becomes minister of Egypt. The king recognized Yusuf's wisdom and sincerity. Yusuf alayhi salam requested a position of responsibility. Greater than, appoint me over the storehouses of the land. Indeed, I will be a knowing guardian. Surah Yusuf 55. Thus, Yusuf alayhi salam became the treasurer of Egypt, managing the food supply during years of abundance and famine. This shows us an important lesson. Leadership should be taken as a responsibility, not as a privilege. The famine reaches Canaan. As Yusuf A.S. managed Egypt's resources, the famine spread to neighboring lands, including Canaan, where his father Yaqub A.S. and his brothers lived. His brothers traveled to Egypt to buy food. When they came before Yusuf alayhi salam, they did not recognize him, but he recognized them. The Qur'an says, greater than, and when Yusuf's brothers came, they entered upon him, and he recognized them, but he was unknown to them. Surah Yusuf 58. Yusuf alayhi salam treated them kindly, but he also began to test them, as part of Allah's plan to bring the family together. The test with his younger brother. Yusuf alayhi salam gave them food but asked them to bring their youngest brother, Benjamin, next time, to prove they were honest men. When they returned with Benjamin, Yusuf alayhi salam secretly revealed himself to him and planned a way to keep him in Egypt. He placed the king's cup in Benjamin's sack, and when it was discovered, Benjamin was accused of theft. His brothers pleaded for his release, but Yusuf alayhi salam insisted he must remain, according to Egyptian law. This was another test for the brothers. Would they abandon their younger brother as they had once abandoned Yusuf? The grief of Yaqub alayhi salam. When the brothers returned without Benjamin, Yaqub alayhi salam was overwhelmed with grief. He remembered Yusuf and wept so much that he lost his eyesight. The Quran describes this moment. Greater than, and he turned away from them and said, "Oh, my sorrow over Yusuf," and his eyes became white from grief, for he was of that a suppressor. Surah Yusuf 84. Yet Yaqub alayhi salam never lost hope in Allah's mercy. He told his sons, greater than, "O my sons, go and find out about Yusuf and his brother and despair not of relief from Allah. Indeed, none despairs of relief from Allah except the disbelieving people." Surah Yusuf 87. Glowing star Yusuf alayhi salam reveals his identity. The brothers returned to Egypt once more, humbled and desperate. This time, Yusuf alayhi salam finally revealed his identity. Greater than, I am Yusuf, and this is my brother. Allah has certainly favored us. Indeed, he who fears Allah and is patient, then indeed, Allah does not allow to be lost the reward of those who do good. Surah Yusuf 90. The brothers were filled with shame and regret. They admitted their mistakes. Greater than, by Allah, certainly Allah has preferred you over us, and indeed, we have been sinners. Surah Yusuf 91. But Yusuf alayhi salam, with incredible forgiveness, said, "No blame will there be upon you. May Allah forgive you, and He is the most merciful of the merciful." Surah Yusuf 92. This is one of the greatest examples of forgiveness in history. The reunion with Yaqub alayhi salam. Yusuf alayhi salam gave his shirt to his brothers and told them to place it on his father's face. When they did, Yaqub's eyesight was restored by the will of Allah. Finally, the entire family traveled to Egypt, where Yusuf alayhi salam welcomed them with honor. The Quran says, "And he raised his parents upon the throne, and they bowed to him in prostration. And he said, O my father, this is the explanation of my vision before. My Lord has made it true." Surah Yusuf 100. The dream he saw as a child, of the sun, moon, and 11 stars bowing to him, was fulfilled. 1. Patience brings victory. Decades of trial led Yusuf alayhi salam from a well to a palace. 2. Forgiveness is power. Yusuf alayhi salam forgave his brothers at the peak of his power. 3. Never despair of Allah's mercy. Yaqub a.s. shows us hope, even in the darkest moments. 4. Allah's plan is perfect. Every step, even prison and betrayal, was part of Allah's greater design. The story of Yusuf alayhi salam is not just history, it is a guide for our lives. Whether we face betrayal, temptation, injustice, or grief, the Quran teaches us to hold on to faith, patience, and trust in Allah's plan. As Allah says at the end of Surah Yusuf, there was certainly in their stories a lesson for those of understanding. Never was the Quran a narration invented, but a confirmation of what was before it and a detailed explanation of all things and guidance and mercy for a people who believe. Surah Yusuf 111